And good day, readers of African Pilot. Today I am at Lux Aviation and I'm with Odette, and we're going to learn all about charter flight.
Absolutely, welcome. I think to start off with, charter is probably misconstrued for being only for luxury clients. I think it's accessible to a lot more people. It's not just used as a commercial tool, it's also leisure. We have a lot of leisure clients. I think our business is probably 60-40 split for corporate clients flying versus leisure clients. Saying that the leisure market really is smaller aircraft, your 6 to 8 seater VIP jets or turbo-propelled aircraft, going up to mid-sized jets for the more of the corporate market and businesses, and then your continental jets like the Falcon we're sitting on at the moment. We specialize in anything from moving freight to passengers.
So how many aeroplanes do you have?
A loaded question, because we've got AOC aircraft that are fully managed by us, and then we also have aircraft that are partially managed. So I think in total you're looking at about 100 aircraft, and not all of them are available to the charter market. Some of those aircraft are privately owned. Well, all of the aircraft are privately owned, but some of those aircraft owners do not make them available for commercial use. So it will only be for their own private flying.
Okay, which they have here, yes, or wherever, yes, and the hangar ridge, yes, and maintenance.
There's various bases throughout Africa. We obviously have a footprint in Lanseria, where we're based now, in Cape Town, as well as Seychelles, and then we use a facility in Nigeria. So depending on where the aircraft owner chooses to park his aircraft, but yeah, we actually cover the entire African continent.
And there's also the international aspect to that.
Yes. So it is a global company. We obviously represent Africa and the islands. It's not fully determined where the fact that we manage it out of South Africa or Africa, that your aircraft has to be based on continent. Many of those aircraft are on alternate AOCs, San Marino, Aruba. So across the world, those aircraft could be based at one of our other FBOs.
Tell me the difference between, and like I encounter this quite often, you know, there's a big event, we're all going to the same place, or it's emergency travel that we need to get somewhere like really, really quickly. Commercial flying versus private charter, what are the benefits?
You have to cost quite quantify it. So I think multiple flights do have to route via particular hubs, specifically when you fly into Africa. I think there are very few business class flights that offer you direct flights. And when it comes to things like check-in, I mean, you determine the time. It's not a scheduled flight. We don't depart on particular days of the week or times. It would be bespoke to you. So you would decide on the time that we depart, where you want to fly to. You can arrive 10 minutes before the flight and depart. If you're an hour late, the aircraft waits for you. And really, you can cover Africa in minimal time. So you could do a road show for many corporate clients. This is where the benefit lies. When they have to put 6 directors or board members on a flight to suddenly get and do their yearly shows or financials, they can literally cover Africa. As I said, they can do 3 countries on the continent within 2 days. You can go spend 3 hours at a meeting, fly to the next destination, 3 hours, and fly back. So I think that is when you start quantifying what these CEOs or directors, vice presidents, what their time is worth, and you put it into monetary value and the time that they're saving, it really does become a financially beneficial tool to use for business.
That cost offset, because it's cost and it's time. And it's the ability to be able to go somewhere, do what needs to be done, and then basically be home in time for dinner, depending on what the activity is. And I think that's really where the value is derived.
Absolutely. That's where the value is. It's also, you can do business on board the aircraft, depending which aircraft you fly on. Could offer you Wi-Fi, you could have meetings en route. So there really is no time lost specifically when it comes to business or flying in a corporate capacity. I think for the rest, during COVID, what we did see is families didn't want to share space. So we do not sell tickets. We don't sell seats. The aircraft, whether there's 1 or 10 passengers on board, it is exclusively for your use. So it's like being an aircraft owner for a short period of time, without the expense.
Yes, without the commitment. I think it's quite a big commitment to own, you know, like a Falcon like this. I mean, it's a beautiful aircraft in itself. When we talk about that charter and that bespoke service, I really kind of get a feeling it's a level of luxury as well as convenience. How bespoke is it?
Bespoke to the point, you can bring your animal on board. You may request catering, caviar, champagne. You know, we've got people with their own chefs that prepare their meals, they bring it on board. We have got our own cabin crew that also prepare bespoke meals. You can have an apron drop-off straight from the vehicle into the aircraft, choice of music, you know, choice of linen on board the aircraft. You know, so the options are also there of sleeping in flight, depending on the size of your aircraft. It's endless. It really, the client determines what level of exclusivity and VIP service they want.
The maintenance aspect, so not necessarily the maintenance of the plane, because that's not done by you guys, you manage that. But if I am a private owner and you're looking after my plane versus maintaining your own planes, the management thereof.
I think with a big corporate like ourselves, we've got a massive support structure behind us and a lot of people in those support teams. We have to go through stringent audits. So when we do not own any aircraft, we manage them on behalf of aircraft owners, CAMO service, and that's basically oversight of their maintenance. So we will verify the programs, we will verify the hours that they're flying, the maintenance that has to be done, that's either calendar, dated items, and we will advise the owner. We will look at invoices that we receive from the maintenance organization, and we'll ensure all of those things are also vetted. So it does give the owner peace of mind. There are many aircraft owners who choose to use their pilots, but again, you know, everyone has a speciality and a core function, and a pilot really should be to focus on flying.
So you also manage all of those logistics,
yes,
the filing of the flight
yes.
path. Okay, all right. I understand that that's quite a complicated thing.
Pilots are so highly regarded because they have a very important job, and it's anytime there's a human factor, it becomes challenging. But yes, we manage the pilots. All have to go through stringent requirements, not just because of what the authority requires, but internally as a company, we then have our own checks and balances to ensure that they meet the minimum requirement set out by the group. We send our crew to simulator training, and a lot of those things happen overseas. It's a very costly exercise, but very necessary. Now, if you only fly in a private capacity, you don't have to jump through all the hoops that you do when you fly commercially. Commercially is a lot more stringent. There's a lot more boxes to be ticked when the crew fly, their duty time that they can legally fly, and those are all things that's managed by us to ensure that the client also, their safety is of utmost importance throughout flight. And for the same reasons why you can't just do an 18-hour flight. There are limitations, crew are human, and really they also need to be governed and protected, because aircraft owners potentially could just request crew to do a straight flight, and ultimately we all suffer from fatigue at some point, and then that becomes a safety concern.
Perhaps just give me an introduction or background to Lux Aviation in Africa and South Africa. You guys have been around for some time.
So the company started out as ExecuJet. We now owned by Lux Aviation, so it's ExecuJet, part of Lux Aviation Group. Locally, our aviation services fall under Lux Aviation, and the FBO part, which is the fixed-based operation, the lounges across the world, they fall under the umbrella of ExecuJet. Throughout the buyout, we've acquired many really highly skilled companies, and that has strengthened our stance within the aviation industry with expertise in various fields.
How does the South African or African market for you guys within your group compare to the rest of the international group?
I think volume in Africa in terms of flying is far lower. I think our clients are very different to European clients. Europe maybe gives you more options because there's a lot more aviation companies, smaller companies, a lot more aircraft. In South Africa, a lot of our airfields are not licensed. They're also not necessarily maintained to a certain standard, which means only particular aircraft can fly into those airports. Europe has a lot more airports that are of a higher quality and standard in terms of the conditions of the runways. So we have a lot of challenges with that, that airfields might not get maintained, and clients have to travel to areas, rural areas, and that makes it a little bit more challenging. We've got language barriers, that's part of it. I think infrastructure is a big thing. The fewer people on the continent that can afford aircraft. So definitely there's a big influx in Middle Africa, I'd say East Africa, West Africa, there's a lot more aircraft ownership coming in, and with that, obviously, a lot more demand. Private flying gives you the flexibility, and we are there at your service.
Cargo, freight, cargo, air cargo in South Africa and Africa. You guys do offer that service. What do you move? Where do you typically move it? And is there room for growth?
Yes, there is room for growth. We do move cargo. We have a dangerous goods license. So in saying that, we have 2 aircraft that particularly assist us with dangerous goods, and that could be anything from parts to flammable liquids. And it is something that we can't just talk about. It's like anything else. There's confidentiality tied to it. But yes, we have those accreditations. When it comes to larger loads, we have expertise. We have someone dedicated to covering the cargo component of chartering. And the aircraft is not on our operating license, but we are subcontracting that service. We've got access to Boeing 737s. That's both available for leasing, and with the expansion at Lanseria Airport into fully fledged cargo facility as well, with the e-commerce coming in here, I think there's a lot of growth coming, and it is a space to watch out for. We do offer services to mining companies, specifically when they start up, moving either goods for them between a major airport and the mining sites, but we also move their staff around. So it's endless. Lux Aviation, yes, we take care of the details. Absolutely, clients and our customers, our internal customers, our staff, it is at the forefront of what we do and the service we offer. We are a 24/7 operation, and we're always here ready to service our clients. And we look forward to welcoming you on board.
All personal belongings secure inside the